Please, are you listening to me? So just have partnerships, and any rule you are putting in the house, make sure it is balanced. Make sure it is balanced. Make sure it is balanced. This is an option. I'm not saying it will work for everybody. But what if neither of you owned anything? It is our money. And even if I earn more, I add to the pile of family resources. It doesn't care how little your own contribution is. It is our money. Please rehearse it with me. Say, our money. It's our cars. Rehearse it. Our money, our cars. You make sure your children have that mentality. It was not mommy that paid school fees. It was not daddy that paid school fees. We paid your fees. You will thank daddy. You will thank mommy. Listen, it might be sweet and soothing for you because you are the one earning more money. When the wheels turn around, that's when you will remember submission. The money that you earned, come and bring it. Is that what you did? Anyway, different strokes for different folks. I'm not really bent on that. Family dynamics are different, but that's just a consideration. The fourth thing I want to talk about, and this one, listen, this one is not cast on stone. The reason I said three things at first, and I said if there is time I will talk about the fourth one, is because what I'm about to tell you can be debated theologically, and it's not really a hill to die on, but it's just something to consider. It makes no sense that when Eve fell and ate the fruit, the Bible just automatically tells us that Adam ate the fruit too. It makes no sense. Makes no sense. Some people say he was there when Eve was being tempted. I don't think so. Because the Bible tells us that he was given the fruit does not mean he was there all the while. Temptation doesn't necessarily work that way. And if you understand how Bible narration works, the fact that he just flowed to the fact that he ate the fruit does not mean he was there all the while. Why did he eat the fruit? Well, first and foremost, it is easier to fall into temptation when someone close to you has fallen also. But then there is something else to consider. Especially when you consider that this was the first Adam and Christ was the second Adam. If Adam did not eat the fruit, God wouldn't have had to reset all of humanity. Eve alone will die, and God can just make out of Adam a new wife. And so there are many theologians that believe that Adam ate the fruit to save Eve. Whatever you are going to do to her, you must do to me too. In his sense, he died for her. In a sense, he died for her. And whilst you might want to vacillate about that opinion, I think it makes a compelling case. There is a level of sacrifice and empathy that is required to make marriage work. Sacrifice and empathy. Culture is setting us up for failure. There are cultural expectations that are very selfish. I know that you want a woman who looks like an hourglass. Her waist is very slim, but you want a woman with slim waist, but you want her to give birth to 5 children. Are you not wicked? How did the two go hand in hand? How do you want a flat stomach to birth 5 children for you? There are some cultural suggestions that are just wicked and unrealistic. Is it that easy? We have created men of fickle interests. Any small thing, she's not really aesthetically pleasing. It's your fault. She carried your children. Wake up. And we need more real men, more considerate men. That listen, that body you like, that made you ask her out, it will change. When she breastfeeds your children, she will not look the same. It may not even feel the same. Do you know what it means? Oh my God. You only need to be in a labor room to have a new profound respect for women. You see, you can read it in biology textbooks. It's not the same. You have to witness it. You just have to witness it. And the biology of women is very, very interesting. It's very scary. Don't worry, I'm sure they're okay. There might be a woman seated beside you. As she's seated beside you, another human being is growing inside her. Do you know how phenomenal that is? And the level of hormonal changes she has to deal with. Be considerate. Be empathetic. And it doesn't only apply to women also. It applies to men. Men carry burdens that will be difficult for women to understand. He can carry 10,000 burdens. Things that he cannot even explain to you. It takes a lot to at least have the sense of responsibility that the faith of your family is on your shoulder. It's a burden. And even if you think you are doing well financially, he still wants to be the one to help. It's still his responsibility. It's a burden. It's a burden. Show him support. When he comes back from work, see, master timing and master tone. It is not as he's entering after a long day at work, as he opens the door like this, complain. Don't do that. Yet you want him to feel safe around you. You want the house to be a safe haven. It won't work that way. Amen, somebody. So at the end of the day, we have to learn to bring out the best in each other. You know, I preached a sermon 2 years ago. The name is Michelangelo. And this is the idea, very powerful idea. One of the greatest sculptures in the history of humanity is named David, and it's very powerful. Because there was a giant stone. And every other sculptor did not think that stone was useful. They saw some defects and impediments in the stone. But you see, when Michelangelo saw the stone, he saw a potential in it that no one else saw. And he got his chisel and carved out David from it, the sculptor of David from it. Which is very ironic, because it was David who said, the stones that the builders have rejected has become the chief of the